What's up, Sideline Society? Welcome back for another one. Today we've got the NFC East. I'm Rich.
I'm Will.
Please like, comment, subscribe, and let's get into it, guys. Starting up, we'll start with the division winners, obviously Super Bowl winners as well,
Yep.
the Philadelphia Eagles. What'd they go? They go 14 and 3.
Yep.
Guys, just running through them, they're 27 points a game, 7th in the NFL. They allowed 17.8, second in the NFL. Phenomenal defense.
They did, for sure.
Yards per game were 8th with 367, 187 for passing yards per game. That plays into, the Jalen Hurts not being that prototypical quarterback, but the rushing yards game, they're second at 179.
For sure.
Getting into it, man. What do you think? Jalen Hurts, 22 touchdowns, 5 INTs. Last time we saw him, impressive.
It was impressive, definitely, yeah. Like I said, he definitely did a lot better in the Super Bowl than I was expecting.
Yeah,
Saquon. Totally honest.
Saquon got 2K.
Yeah. Saquon got shut out in the Super Bowl.
No, he kind of did, but that kind of is why Jalen Hurts balled out in the Super Bowl.
Because the Chiefs relied heavily the defensive scheme on stopping Saquon.
Yeah,
which is legit. It's a legit thing to do.
We won't make it about the Chiefs, but yeah, they kind of just focus so much on him.
Yeah.
But, all right. So, A.J. Brown leads the team with 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns. Saquon obviously had 2,000. 13 touchdowns. The tush push is unstoppable. The D-line, unstoppable. They've got the 32nd pick. They've got the 60th pick. They did lose a couple of guys. A guy retired. They're not quite the same team they were last year.
No, they're going to...
But I feel like they've got depth. They've been drafting. They're going to probably draft line again. They're going to fill it out.
Yeah, they'll have to go line again, and then they're going to have to figure out this secondary. Because they did lose a lot of guys.
They did lose Darius Slay.
And C.J. Gardner-Johnson.
But is Darius Slay still... I'm not saying he's not a great corner, but, looking at him right now with the roster, he's 33. He's going to be 34 next year. That's pretty old for a corner, especially to be, your number one elite guy on the corner.
He is getting old.
Do we know... They might be kind of not making a bad decision getting rid of him now rather than him staying a year or two longer and getting exposed.
Yeah, no, definitely with his age, he is getting old. The big loss I would say for them is CJ, though. Gardner-Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
He was pretty solid, so.
Yeah, he definitely was. Into the first round, you kind of aren't going to be faulted for picking anybody. You can go anywhere you want. If there's a safety there, you draft safety. If you want to go D-line. It's kind of one of those, it's a very, I guess being the Super Bowl champ, you have a freedom of, in a way, you can draft almost whoever you want as long as best talent available.
Basically, yeah. At that point, at 32, the last pick of the first round.
Yeah,
you just go whoever's better. That fits,
who's the best guy there? Yeah,
fits your general scheme that you need.
So they did have Brandon Graham retire. He had, I guess, a little passionate,
Yeah, they lost Sweat.
They did.
I don't forget where he went. I think he went to who? I don't even remember. Chargers or something like that.
I don't even. I don't know. It was the Cardinals.
That's right. Yeah,
it was the Cardinals. But no. To the point. Do you see them getting better? I know Eagle fans. They think they're going to repeat.
Mm-hmm.
They think this is the start of their real run, and I don't. I know if it is or isn't.
Give obviously Saquon his flowers, but I don't know if he's going to continue.
Is he going to stay healthy again?
Yeah. And, do you think he's going to get another 2,000-yard rushing or anything close to that? I'm not saying he...
Maybe in that offense, I think maybe not 2,000, but maybe 16, 17. If he stays healthy completely.
Good.
I don't think he's... I think this was it. This was all the stars aligned for him this season. He was healthy. He was at his elite prime physically. The team's the ultimate running team, kind of, sort of.
Yeah.
He's got the quarterback, that just is that kind of guy to run and hand off. He doesn't care about the passing stats.
No, he didn't give us stats.
So it's all this, but that's a hard thing to repeat. And Saquon staying healthy is a hard thing to repeat. We've seen that.
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
So I don't know. What do you think? Do you think they're going back next year?
No, I stand by my Lions pick. So.
Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to look at anything else here. They do. Looks like they had D linemen, O linemen, edge right. Yeah, they're just going to fill out. They're going to do what they always do.
Yep,
they're going to fill it out.
Yep.
That's really what it is. And I wonder, what's their ceiling? Obviously, we just saw them win a Super Bowl, and I just think, is their ceiling? Can they make it to a championship game again next year? Do you think they're that good, or do you think they're kind of divisional round?
Nah, they'll probably make it to the championship round for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, they have a good enough offense for sure that'll get them there, and they lost a lot of guys on defense, but I'm sure they'll fill it out.
That's a good point. They're gonna fill out.
They've been good at drafting, especially defensive linemen.
So. No, yeah, and just trying to think if there's anything I see that's like. I mean, really, I don't think Jalen Hurts is gonna get any worse. I don't think he's gonna be better either, though.
No,
but they don't need him to.
No, that's pretty up to par with Jalen Hurts, like stat wise. Generally speaking, he's probably not really ever gonna pass for like 4,500 yards, 36 touchdowns, anything like that.
Yeah.
But with the scheme they have, especially with the addition of Saquon, they don't really need him to. So.
No, they don't. We'll see. I don't know. I've got their schedule here.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready?
Yeah, it's on it.
So I got one that's to be decided. So I guess that we'll have to figure that out. But Buffalo and Dallas.
Buffalo will be a good one.
Buffalo will be a good one. Dallas will be a good one too. It's divisional opponent. Even if Dallas is kind of suspect, we'll get to them here. But I don't know. That's a toss up. They're going to split it probably.
They'll split it with Dallas for sure, especially if Dax is healthy.
Yeah. Then there's Green Bay, Kansas City.
They'll probably lose to Kansas City. Kansas City will probably come in with some heat.
Yeah, Green Bay's I wonder. I know we talked about them, and it's kind of like, where do they improve? I feel like they're middle of the road, but I feel like Jordan Love, he takes the next step. I mean, he looked
good. Yeah,
that's what I mean, maybe they're kind of like that sleeping giant that we just haven't realized. Like Green Bay, they all of a sudden are 14-3 next year or something.
Yeah, I mean, they could be.
You never know.
I'll still give that to Philly, though, probably.
Okay, all right. Chargers, Minnesota.
Philly's probably gonna beat the Chargers.
Minnesota. You know what's something funny I just heard about Minnesota? Just on a side little note. They're talking about if J.J. McCarthy doesn't work out, they could always just trade for Kirk Cousins.
Wouldn't that be crazy?
If that's full, bro, what is the world becoming?
That'd be crazy. Point?
If they trade for Kirk Cousins, I just heard that and I was like, no way.
No way.
Is that really like if JJ, if they're 5 weeks into the season and it ain't working out,
they just swoop up Cousins again?
No, like, is that allowed?
Yeah,
I mean, I guess so. But that shit shouldn't be allowed.
But I know they'll probably beat the Vikings. Okay. I mean, unless JJ balls out, but he's kind of unknown yet. So.
And then where were we? Giants, Dallas.
They're
sweeping the Giants
for sure. But they did just pick up Winston.
Man, I saw that famous Jameis in New York. You know what? I kind of like it.
I do too, honestly. I do.
And you know what I think they're getting ready to do? Because I think Jameis is like the kind of guy. I think the Giants are getting ready to move heaven and earth. They're going to get Shedeur.
I think so.
And Jameis is like kind of the perfect stopgap.
For sure, yeah.
It's positive. Like, honestly, at this point, everybody kind of really has good things. Is he a little eccentric at times? Probably a little too much? Yeah, maybe, but it's not a negative thing.
No, generally people like him a lot, so
yeah,
I don't think anyone hates him.
And I think at this point, he would, be a solid mentor to Shedeur.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
So I feel like it's a good pick. Then the Giants, again, we talked about they're sweeping Washington and Chicago.
They'll probably split it with Washington, to be honest with you. I don't think they're going to sweep them.
Yeah, I like Washington.
I do too.
I don't know if...
Just with the addition of Debo?
Yeah, I think Jaden Daniels gets maybe better statistically a little, but I think he gets a little more exposed as well, just because second-year film on him and stuff.
Yeah, he'll probably make some more mistakes.
He's going to be that sophomore slump a little bit. We'll see. Detroit and Denver. You like Detroit a lot, obviously. I do too. I like
too.
Detroit.
I still think that's going to be a really close game, but I'll give it to Detroit.
Yeah, and
Denver, it'll be a good game. Bo Nix is kind of the guy, but
no, he definitely is.
I mean, I think Philly will still beat Denver, though.
Yeah, that's a good point. Philly probably will beat them, unless Denver is just
goes off on some.
Maybe they're lit next year, and we just don't know it. But then you got Vegas and the Rams.
They'll beat Vegas for sure.
Yeah.
Unless, like I said, something crazy happens.
I mean, they got Geno.
I don't think
I'm talking. Yeah, nobody cares about Geno.
The Rams. You want to? I'll say the Rams. I'll give the Rams it.
Yeah, I like the Rams. They're on like a 1 or 2 year run right now. They got Stafford back. They know they're on. Time's limited right now. They got to make it happen now.
For sure.
Then you got the Bucks and Washington again.
Bucks. I'm actually gonna
watch them lose both of those, man.
I'm gonna take the Bucks.
Like I said, they're going to split with Washington, so depending on where that game is at the end of this, I mean, they could lose that.
Because historically, Philly's actually not that good against the Bucks for whatever reason. Like,
that's true. I think they used to be divisional opponents or something. I think, but because they swapped divisions around like right at the late '90s, like end of the '90s, early 2000s. Because the Colts used to be in the Dolphins division.
Yeah,
like it was like because once the Houston Texans showed up in like the expansion and stuff, they kind of shifted things around a little bit. But all right, well that's the Philadelphia Eagles, man. I mean, we got through it. We said it. Eagles. I'm gonna, as my closing thing, I'm gonna sit here and say, y'all make it to the divisional round and lose a heartbreaker.
Yeah,
that's what's gonna happen to the Eagles next year. They're not repeating, are they?
No, I don't think they'll repeat at all.
No, and you just said you don't think they're even making it to the championship game.
They're not gonna make it past it. It'll probably be
so it's gonna be a divisional.
Yeah,
and it'll probably be a great game. It'll be a heartbreaker.
It will.
Something. But moving on, we've got the Washington Commanders. They were second in the NFC East. They finished 12-5. They made it to the NFC Championship game. I don't think anybody was disappointed with their season.
No, definitely not.
They seemed to just make the most of what they had.
They did, for sure. Jaden Daniels did great for a rookie.
No, definitely.
He had 3,500 passing yards, 25 touchdowns.
He had 891 rushing yards as well.
I was going to bring that up. He was the leading rusher for the team. So,
yeah, I mean,
maybe y'all look at some running backs.
Maybe. And then you got Terry McLaurin, who I've always kind of really liked. I feel like he's been slightly underrated, maybe, just because of the team he's on and the talent that's been around him.
He actually was second in touchdowns scored during the season. Yeah. Right behind, obviously, Chase, who was Triple Crown winner or whatever. But
no, yeah, that's a good point.
But yeah, he was number 2 in touchdowns scored this season. So.
And, I mean, he's really in his prime, if you think about it. I mean, he's 28, 29. So, I mean, he's right there at what's probably going to be his best.
For sure.
These next couple of years.
Next 2-3 years or so.
Probably right peak going to be for him. They've got the 29th pick, but going over their stats real quick as well, they were 28.5 points a game. That's 5th in the NFL. That's actually, they were top 5 in scoring. Holy shit.
Is it good?
I know. I didn't even realize that. What are they? 391 points allowed. That's 23 points a game. That's 18th in the NFL. So the defense
could use some work.
Offensively, they were 17th in passing with 215 yards a game. They were 3rd in rushing with 154 yards a game. So the running backs do get it done a little bit, but Jaden Daniels
definitely tops it off for sure.
And I don't know, this is where I'm not going to sit here and pretend to be the ultimate expert and act like I've watched these Commander games like that. I don't know how much of his running is designed or is just play breakdown and him as a rookie just moving because his first read isn't open. Yeah. Which is a common thing for a guy that can run like him as a rookie. If your first read isn't there or the second, you just go.
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
They're not trying to sit in that pocket. So, I mean, they got the 29th pick. That's kind of one of the things is their team really that good or did they just make the most with what they had? So it's kind of like having the 29th pick, especially in a draft like this that's kind of weaker. Mm-hmm. It's like, man, you're not going to get anybody probably. Not anybody. Maybe you get a serviceable starter.
Yeah. I mean, I know.
You're not trading up. You're not. You don't want to get. I mean, you're not doing. There's nobody to trade up for. At your point, you're too far down.
I mean,
that's what I'm saying. They almost played themselves out of as great as their season was, but we all know they're not ready. They still need a year. They got to get it together still.
For sure. They need to figure out defense definitely a little bit. For sure. Like I said, I mean, the defense wasn't terrible, but
yeah,
they need to figure that out. And then obviously still the running game. Like I said, Brian Robinson Jr., he had only 799 rushing yards.
Yeah, how many attempts?
He had 187 carries.
It doesn't seem very good.
No, so they
were kind of giving the ball a little bit.
Yeah, so they definitely need to.
Yeah, I got him here with a mock draft drafting Benjamin Morrison. He's a corner from Notre Dame.
Yeah, which, like I said, defense obviously could do some work.
Sure up the passing D. It's not a bad choice. I mean, do you see them? Are they going back to the championship? I mean, do they take the next step and go to the Super Bowl? Are they ready? Is Jaden Daniels that guy?
I don't. I mean, they're going to get to the playoffs, I believe, for sure. with the addition of, like we said, like Debo, that should help him out. But like I said, with the film being out there for him, I feel like he's gonna have kind of like maybe like a Stroud type season where you can't complain about it. It's not bad. The stats are there. He looks decent,
but maybe not as exciting.
Maybe not as exciting, and probably honestly will get knocked out in like the first or second round of the playoffs type situation.
Yeah,
but they'll get there for sure.
What if they don't
get to the playoffs?
That's kind of what I'm kind of leaning towards. I'm saying not like they're a bad team. They lose a handful of close ones. Maybe they have a stinker or two, and all of a sudden they're on the outside looking in. Not like a bad team, but just the season just does maybe an injury, like it just doesn't go together the way it should.
Yeah, that'd be rough. It's hard to take a step back like that anytime, but especially when you had all that hype with the rookie quarterback getting deep into the playoff run, and then the very next year you don't even get in.
We've seen that story a bunch.
Oh, for sure.
It happens all the time. So it's not like, and again, I'm not even saying like Jaden Daniels has a horrible year.
No, stats still look good. But
like it just, like I said, you lose a couple heartbreakers. Maybe you have a couple bad games. A guy gets injured and you're limping through, and all of a sudden it's just like you're at the end of the season and you're like 8-8, and you're just not really quite there.
For sure. I mean, it could happen. I mean, think about it. If Dak Prescott stays healthy, who knows how the Cowboys will do, and we'll talk about them eventually.
Yeah, we're getting ready to get to him.
But I mean, even without Dak, I mean, the Cowboys were still 8-9 or something like that, which I'll look in a sec.
The division's okay,
and
I mean the Giants, like you just said, they got Jameis. We'll get to them, but it's like they. Not saying the Giants are going to be good next year, but they might be a little improved.
They'll be improved for sure.
So it's like the division isn't horrible.
No, it's not.
So I don't know, I'm just wondering, like, the second-year quarterback, I'm looking at the roster, and I know they'll fill it out, but it's like there aren't that many real guys there that are like, whoa, that's a guy.
Yeah.
You got Terry McLaurin, you got Jaden Daniels, and it's like Jaden Daniels, the film's out, these guys are scheming on him right now.
For sure.
Right now, as we talk, there's a defensive coordinator in the NFL scheming
up plans for him. Sure.
Learning what he likes and doesn't like, and how to pressure him, and where you push him to make him make mistakes.
And unless they do something in the offseason with the draft,
which, like I said, they're so far down in the draft, and the draft's so weak. It's like they kind of played themselves out of getting it.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, defensive coordinators can look at the games and the stats and realize, like, obviously you got to plan for it still a little bit, but like the run game's not really there. So
not like you want it to be.
Yeah, I mean, if he didn't even get 800 yards, the top rusher.
No,
that's pretty well.
And I don't care what anybody. I don't want my quarterback being the leading rusher.
No, not even if it's like Lamar Jackson. You don't want.
No, you don't want him. You want Derrick Henry being the leading.
100%.
Lamar gets his numbers because it plays off of how it plays, but no, you don't want your quarterback being.
No, it's not. It's not a good sign.
It's not an ideal thing.
No, definitely not.
But I guess they do draft corner, maybe edge or something. I mean, that's the same old,
Yeah, they'll go defense. They'll show up the defense, like I said. They kind of showed up the offense a little bit, like I said, with the Debo pickup. They definitely need to figure out running back. But, I mean, they could go the way of the Bengals and just say, screw anything else. We're just going to be a passing team.
I'm trying to think if there's anybody out there who...
on free agency, I mean, like Najee Harris already got picked up. He went to the Chargers, didn't he?
I think so. Did he? Yeah, he did. He went...
I know he was on free agency. I mean...
You know what I'm trying to think of, like, an angle here. I'm trying to think of that there's... This is why I sat here and I've raised the question.
Ooh. Like, and I'm not saying... Let me get his name, the exact pronunciation, because I have in my notes already for the Cowboys. No, he already went somewhere.
Well, my point is, this is why I've raised the question, is it's like their roster, it's mid-tier. The film's going to be out on Jaden Daniels. I expect him to not be horrible, but I expect, like we've talked about. And it's like they played themselves out of drafting any real talent. It's a weak draft, so you can't expect anybody you draft to make this huge splash or anything.
No.
And I'm like, man, they're in a halfway good division. I mean, you got the champs in there. You got Dallas. Dallas is Dallas, but, they're going to win a game against you probably.
For sure, 100%.
And all of a sudden, you didn't make the playoffs. That's really what I see with Washington. I'm just like, they're on the outside looking in at the end of the season, I think. I don't know why. I got their schedule. Let's run through it. I'm curious. Add. Okay, there we go. Add. There we go. All right. Atlanta and Dallas. I mean, like I said, they split Dallas. Atlanta, maybe they'll probably beat Atlanta. They'll beat Atlanta. Okay, so at that point, let's say they're 2-0. Let's all right. Green Bay and Kansas City. They're probably Green Bay. I'm telling you, what if they're a sleeping giant?
Green Bay honestly will probably win. I like that, and Kansas City's probably gonna win.
Yeah, I stand strong. Mahomes is on revenge tour next year. Kelsey's coming back for. Kelsey ain't coming. He's got Taylor Swift waiting in the wings. He's got his podcast. He's got the celebrity. That dude has no reason to come back except to win a fucking Super Bowl.
For sure.
And it's Super Bowl or bust for them next year. Chargers and Miami.
I mean, they'll probably beat the Chargers.
So, I mean, where are we at? So, I'm just curious. We got them at
2-2.
2-2, 3-2 now with the Chargers. I'm taking Miami. Miami's not a slouch team.
No, they're not.
And if they're hot, they're hot. If Tua's healthy and they're hot, you can't. Miami's a nice mid-tier team. I'm not pretending we're better than we are.
They are.
I'm taking Miami on that. Who's going to cover? Who's going to cover? They ain't got nobody. They ain't got the speed.
No, they're going to pick up in the draft, my boy.
Maybe that Notre Dame guy.
I go Miami, I guess. I can see it. Vikings. I don't know what J.J. McCarthy's going to do, so I have to go them.
The Vikings got a nice team around them, though.
They do.
You assume they're going to probably.
They did it with Sam Darnold.
J.J. McCarthy's not really a rookie, even though this is kind of still going to be his first real game. He's had a season of real,
at least,
pro time. Which honestly, I think that's the real way, especially with, first round. You should let him sit a year. This guy got hurt to sit a year, but it's
good to
it might really work out for him in the long run.
It could.
Then we got Philly and Dallas. Like I said, they're going to split with Dallas. I think Philly beats that ass twice, I think. Yeah. I think Philly's the mean big brother.
I think they'll split with Philly still.
You think they're going to split with them?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Divisional games. They usually play good.
Yeah, it's all divisional. Then Chicago and Detroit.
Beat Chicago.
You like Caleb Williams.
Yeah, but this is going to be Chicago. Lose to Detroit.
Okay.
And then, honestly, Denver could go either way. I like the mix.
Vegas and Seattle.
They'll beat Vegas. They'll beat Seattle.
Seattle's got Darnold, man.
That don't matter. Who they got at receiver?
He's the guy, bro.
No.
Darnold is a guy, bro.
So I'll give them. I'll go Denver, honestly, and then they'll beat Vegas and Seattle.
Okay, so what do we got? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wins. We've got them at 8 and 9 right now.
Yeah.
And what I say, that's right what they're going to probably be. On the outside looking in.
Could be, yeah. That's very realistic.
I'm telling you, man. They played beyond their capabilities this last season, and you can't expect that or bank on that consistently 2 years in a row.
No. They'll probably take a little bit of
unless this team is just a bunch of hidden gems and undeveloped talent that nobody knew, and it's all going to come together.
It might. Hey, no one expected
it last year. It does happen.
Yeah, no one thought they'd be anything last year, and they did.
We'll see. But moving on, guys, we've got your Dallas Cowboys.
The Dallas
America's
Cowboys.
Team.
Yep.
America's team, bro.
America's team.
Finished 7-10, third in the division.
Mm-hmm.
Dak, Micah. Let's just run the numbers real quick. They're 20 points a game. That's 21st in the NFL. They're 327 yards a game, 17th in the NFL. They were 227 in passing. That's 11th. They were 100 yards a game rushing. That's 27th in the NFL. Points per game, they were 27.5. Points allowed per game. They were 27.5. Their defense allowed. They were the 31st worst defense.
Yeah, that's rough.
Jeez,
that's hard.
Louise. Dak, 1,900 yards, 11 touchdowns. Obviously hurt.
Played 8 games, so.
That's for 8 games. That is not great. That's a half a season still. Rico Dowdle with 1,000. CeeDee Lamb with almost 1,200. Eric Kendricks led the team in tackles with 138, 2 interceptions. Micah Parsons, obviously 12 sacks.
He's definitely a dog.
They've got the 12th pick. They've got the 44th pick. A lot of people are talking about Genty.
They have to. So, I feel like they have to go running back because once again, Rico, he's gone. He went to the Panthers.
Yeah.
So they don't even have him no more. And they ranked whatever, like you said, 22nd or something in rushing last season.
They were 27th.
27th. So the rushing wasn't good as it is. Granted, Rico was an undrafted dude.
I mean, he did what he could.
So he was a rookie, undrafted, and he still got over 1,000 yards. I mean, hey, that's better than Ryan Robinson on the Commandos. So
no, absolutely.
For an undrafted dude.
And I mean, how is their defense so bad?
See, here's the thing: they have Parsons, which is great, but bro, the best corner, and I stand on this, Trayvon Diggs, is terrible. I don't care what anyone says.
Bro, everybody liked him his rookie season. Didn't he have like 9 interceptions? But a lot of people were like, if he didn't pick the ball off, he just got burned.
There was 2 options: either he intercepted the ball, or you scored a 60-yard touchdown on him.
And now he's been exposed.
Yes, and now he's been exposed. Only 2 interceptions. Obviously, they had the 32nd or whatever.
Yeah, 31st.
Defense allowing
That's insane.
27.5 points a game.
I did not realize Dallas's defense was
that
quite
awful?
So bad. I knew it wasn't good, but I did not realize it was like literally bottom of the NFL. Like,
quite bad. Yeah.
Like they're second to last.
Because you think obviously they have the big name Micah Parsons. He's good, so you automatically just assume they would be at least mid-tier.
And Diggs, I was like, I didn't realize Diggs had been. I mean, I did, but maybe I just haven't thought about it. I don't think about Dallas that much, to be honest. I don't really care that much about them.
Not at all.
And they sit right where they should sit, mediocre. I like Dallas being mediocre.
Yeah, I do too. It's nice.
Makes me happy.
It's nice to see them there.
I don't think about them much because I don't have to.
Yeah, I don't care about them whatsoever.
No. But CeeDee Lamb's an elite guy. He's 25, turning 26. I mean, he's right in his prime, coming into it.
I mean, CeeDee Lamb's probably, honestly...
Dak's going to be 32 next year.
He's getting old.
I mean, that's not old for a quarterback.
But he's just getting a little
Dak
older.
is he getting old in Dallas? Can we say that? Is he getting old in Dallas? Are they fucking tired of him?
Here's the thing.
He's made a lot of money to not deliver nothing.
No. Here's the thing with Dak, though. I will give him, and I pulled up his stats from last year just because I knew he didn't play most of the season, so I wanted to see how he did.
Yeah.
Bro balled out. He had 4,500 passing yards, 36 touchdowns, 9 interceptions.
But he choked. And when it all comes down to it. So it's like, again, the numbers are great.
Those are solid.
I'm talking about Cincy should start having a conversation about getting rid of Joe Burrow in about a year or two if he don't deliver. Dak's and going on, year 10 almost? Year 9? I mean...
Something like that, probably, yeah.
He came into the league with Zeke. And Zeke's fucking... Yeah, he'll be in year 10 next year.
Yeah, sure enough.
So it's like... I'm just sitting there saying to myself, like
they haven't even won a playoff game.
Not since they started signing him to real money.
Yeah.
He got the one playoff win under his rookie deal, and they paid him from that. Now he's signed a new deal since he got paid from the original deal.
Yeah.
This is like the second deal. This is the second time they've had to pay him.
Yeah. The stats are great, like I said. But
guy's trash. Maybe not trash, but...
I mean, I would take him.
You'd take Dak right now?
For sure.
Dude, y'all should have traded Myles Garrett.
I don't know if he's worth Myles Garrett, let's be honest.
He's quarterback.
It don't matter.
It's quarterback league.
But, I mean, he does put up the regular season stats, which is...
I guess. Not last year.
Last year his stats were good.
Dude, 1,900 yards, 11 touchdowns?
No, I mean the year before, 2023.
Yeah,
because when he played a full season.
Yeah, but that's 8 games. That's half a season. So if you double that, he's 3,800 yards and 22 touchdowns.
Yeah. I mean, that's not great. It's not terrible, though.
I don't know. Maybe I'm hating. So you think they're getting Genty?
I would hope that so.
What if they don't? Let's say he's gone. Who else do you go for?
Defense, obviously.
You don't think there's a running back out there worthy of it other than Genty?
You can any other running back besides Genty, you can swoop him in the second.
Trade back
for sure
or something.
Sure, you don't need to draft a running back in the first unless it's Genty.
I'm just saying, bro. Madden's got their corners ranked pretty good, 89 and 88.
They lying.
I'm just saying, according to Madden, this is why the Jets are horrible.
I know, exactly.
Because their guy's like, bro, Diggs is a dog.
Oh, we got to get him. He's 26. He's got a 92 speed.
He's 89 overall. This guy's going to progress for 3 years. No,
they got to go defense. If they can't swoop Genty in the first, they got to go defense. And, I mean, they got Parsons. So you either got to go interior line or, I mean, obviously, like, corner.
Dude, I say, yeah, you go safeties, corner, something. I don't know.
You definitely got
I hope they suck, though. That's what I really hope.
No, they will.
They will. Okay, all right, well, let's go ahead and, pull up their schedule here. Mm-hmm. Cowboys schedule. Getting to it. Here we are. Carolina, Chicago.
They'll beat Carolina.
You like Caleb Williams? Every time I see Chicago, I just say that.
I don't know what else. I don't.
No, Chicago. I mean, I think they'll be a little better, but
I don't know. They'll beat Panthers for sure.
Then you got Giants and Philly.
I mean, with Dak staying healthy, I still don't think they're going to sweep anyone really, probably. I don't think they're good enough. So, they'll lose to the Giants, lose to Philly, lose to Commanders, because I think they're going to split most of them.
Yeah, they're going to split the whole division, maybe. I don't know. I could see them getting swept by
They'll get swept by someone, probably, but it's going to be probably Philly. Maybe Commanders. Honestly, I can see that, too.
Dude, watch the Giants with Jameis.
Just sweep them.
Just come in.
That'd be crazy.
That'd be the most insane thing ever. But then you got Green Bay and Minnesota.
Green Bay's going to dog walk them.
Minnesota, we'll see with J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah, it could go either way.
Then we got Arizona and Kansas City.
They'll probably beat Arizona.
I mean, if Kyler's... we'll see. I don't believe in Kyler.
Well, Kyler's another situation kind of almost in the same realm of Dak in a way, where it's like sometimes he has the numbers and he looks good, but like, is he really good? I don't know.
They've paid him too, haven't they? He got his contract.
He got a decent one, yeah.
I mean, he got a contract he deserved, not what.
It wasn't insane.
Yeah,
no.
He didn't deserve that though. Where we at? We're at
Kansas City will win.
Kansas City Chargers
will probably win.
Yeah.
Denver will probably win.
Detroit probably win.
And then they're gonna
Vegas. They'll beat Vegas.
Vegas for sure.
Like we said, split the Giants.
They'll beat the Jets.
I hope they beat the Jets.
And then
Philly and Washington.
Once again, Philly might sweep them.
Washington, I mean, I'm not. We just said Washington's probably going to be a mid-tier, mediocre team, from what it seems like.
I don't think Washington's going to sweep them though.
So I guess it depends on which game it is that they win with them. Right?
Yeah.
But guys, that's your Dallas Cowboys.
That's the American team.
We just talked about him without even bringing up Jerry Jones. So I will say one thing in closing for him. The team is going nowhere as long as Jerry Jones is running.
Oh, yeah. We didn't even mention the nobody coach they picked up. Didn't even get into that topic.
I mean, he's Schottenheimer's son. I'll say Schottenheimer's, I feel like, is a Hall of Fame coach.
Yeah.
But that's his dad, not him.
Like, no one even had him on, like, the radar for, like, a head coach title, which, I mean, doesn't mean he won't. I guess he could still be good. But it's just like, it's like no one was even, like, talking about him.
No, they weren't. And I don't think they will in the future, to be honest.
Like I said, they tanking for Arch.
I kind of wonder, bro.
Telling you, they can blame it on the...
Cam called that shit.
Yeah, I'm saying they can blame it on the coach that was like a wild pickup. Like, oh, he sucks. It's his fault.
Yeah.
And then get Arch.
And slide off Dak.
Yeah.
But, all right, guys. Closing out the division now. We've got the New York Giants. They were 3-14. They were pretty bad.
I'll be honest, the first thing in my notes I wrote down for them was Giants 3-14 ass.
Yeah, honestly, it's just not very good.
No.
So points per game, they average 16 points per game in a modern NFL.
That's
good for 31st. 5,000 yards in offense. I don't even have the ranking for that, actually, unfortunately. But passing, they were 28th in passing with 189 yards. They were 23rd in rushing with 104 yards. Their third down conversion rate was 27th. Their turnover differential was 26. Defensively, they ranked 21st in the league, allowing 415 yards a game. Their passing yards allowed was 215 yards a game, so that was 8th.
That's not terrible.
Top 10 passing defense.
Yeah.
Horrible rushing defense. 131 yards a game. Good for 30th overall. Danny Dimes led the team in passing last year. He's obviously no longer with them. Drew Lock had 1,200 yards. We know they've got Jameis now. Mm-hmm. We know he'll put up yards.
Oh, he will.
Rushing, they got rid of Saquon. That has come back to haunt them.
For sure.
But for how long? Matt Breida had 800 yards. Gary Brightwell had 450 yards. Malik Neighbors, we think, is a guy.
For sure. I believe he is. He had a decent bit of receiving yards, didn't he?
950.
That's not terrible.
6 yards. Or 6 touchdowns. On 70 catches.
Yeah. I mean, when you have, like, Drew Lock throwing the ball, I mean...
Yeah, what else are you supposed to do?
Yeah, exactly.
It is what it is. Kayvon Thibodeau.
Yeah, Thibodeau, I think.
10 sacks, 2 forced fumbles.
Yeah, it's not terrible.
Xavier McKinney, 4 INTs. They hold the 3rd pick.
Which is crazy. When you read off that stat line for all them, I'm like, bro, how don't they have the number 1 overall pick? That's rough.
Because the Titans were that bad.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. Apparently us too.
Yeah, Cleveland was that bad. Dude, I'm telling you, Cleveland, it's like the curse of the Bambino with the Red Sox and Babe Ruth.
It is.
And I'm not saying Baker's Babe Ruth, but he brought y'all your first playoff victory, and y'all just fucking shipped him off on the first thing smoking.
Yep, we did.
Y'all deserve your fates for that.
Yeah, that's rough. But, so...
But no, so they've got the third pick. They've got the 34th pick.
They have to go quarterback.
They really, really want Shedeur or Cam. Again, this goes to the Cam and Shedeur argument that we had. Do we think either of them are elite? Probably not.
No.
I think Cam has a more potential to be the elite guy. I think they'll probably both be mid-tier to mediocre, maybe have some nice games, maybe a nice year or two, maybe a Geno-type career and develop 5-8 years from now. You're like, oh, that guy turned into a nice starter.
Okay, you know?
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. But what's up? We've got your New York Giants.
So, I mean, like I said, they got to go quarterback one way or another. And with the third pick, they'll probably get quarterback.
So I've been hearing that they're trying to trade up.
Well, it depends on who they really want. The Titans probably aren't picking a quarterback. I don't believe. They're probably going to go, like I said.
You think they're going to trade that pick? Or do you think they hang on?
They'll probably hang on. Because I believe they're going to want a dual Carter.
If they don't take him, I think Cleveland's taking him. I think Cleveland knows they'll sit another year without a quarterback. Sure. They've signed, who the fuck, I can't even remember. Kenny Pickett.
And maybe Russell Wilson.
Maybe, dude,
we'll see.
Cleveland's about to sign everybody.
Yeah, we're going to figure it out. But we won't. Probably won't.
We're going to show Myles Garrett the effort.
Yeah, exactly. But, so they'll probably be able to get a quarterback. The question is only which one, obviously.
I mean, what if they shocked the world and took Travis Hunter? They're not doing it. They're taking a quarterback. That would be
insane. You just rely on Jameis Winston. That's your guy.
For the year? I mean, I'm not saying you think he's going to win. Obviously, the team ain't there.
No.
But Jameis for a year. One thing I am noticing is look at their ages, though. A lot of those guys are
very young. Yeah.
We're still developing into their prime. And it's like, I'm just saying, Jameis for a year, he's not the guy, but next year's a better draft. Next year's a better... You get a little better, you develop your talent. Jameis, like we said, people like him. He's a good locker room presence.
He is, for sure. Great.
He's going to have some stinkers, but goddamn, so would Drew Lock, so was Danny Dimes. He's going to be as good or better than them.
They'll at least be exciting games.
And you know what I think? Jameis can handle the New York media. He's got that personality.
Oh, for sure.
Because a lot of people get scared of the New York media when it comes to like being a quarterback of the Giants or the Jets, because it's like such a big city and it's just like they're on you there. They'll fucking rip you to shreds. Like it's kind of been one of the testaments to Eli that he was just able to his personality kind of played into being able to just shrug off the New York media.
100%.
But Jameis, I think, has a similar personality.
He'll be fine.
Like he's just eccentric enough. Like he'll lean into it.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So I don't know. I think they're taking quarterback though.
For sure. Like I said, it'll be whoever we take. Will say who they take.
I'm telling you, what if they trade up? What if they do?
I mean, they could.
If they trade up and take Cam, are you guys taking Shedeur?
Probably, if I'm being totally honest.
You could have so let's say they do trade up to the Titans and they swap 1 and 3. So the Titans are at 3, Cleveland stays at 2, Giants at 1. Giants take Cam. Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter, and Shedeur are all there at number 2. You literally have your pick of them.
Abdul Carter, probably. To be honest.
And then 3 is the Titans. They're going to take the leftover.
Yeah. We'll probably go, if that does happen, actually, we'll probably go dual Carter. And then we'll especially see if we do end up swooping like Russ or something like that, if he does come to us.
Yeah, there's still time before the draft.
For sure. We definitely might go dual Carter then, because at that point we got a young quarterback sit behind him. I mean, I know Kenny Pickett's not that guy, but he is young. He was a first-round pick. Is he going to be, like...
Maybe he's mediocre for a year for you.
Yeah. But, I mean, like, let's be honest, like... I mean, is Shedeur or Cam going to be extraordinarily better? I mean, I would hope they'd be better than Kenny Pickett, because Kenny Pickett does suck. But, like, how much better are they really going to be?
No, that's a good point. So...
And I'd be happy with that. Dual Carter?
So let's stay real world, I guess. That was a hypothetical. They do have the third pick, so let's say the Titans do take Abdul Carter.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say Cleveland takes Cam. that does leave Shedeur to the Giants.
I would imagine they would definitely go Shedeur at that point.
At that point, they're probably definitely
going to go. Unless there's a lot of talk of Shedeur falling in the draft. Unless that's true, and they go Jackson Dart, because there's also a lot of news of him going up in stock.
Yeah. So I've got here, depending on who they take in the first round. Let's say for whatever reason, Shedeur and Cam are both gone, and they do just take like an Abdul Carter or a Travis Hunter, and that leaves them second round. What do you do? Jalen Milroe.
I was going to say that Milroe, probably, yeah. Yeah, in reality, I mean Neighbors, and say they have Neighbors already, obviously. Mm-hmm. Say they swooped up Travis Hunter.
And then you get Jalen Milroe, and you got Jameis for a year or half the season to develop Milroe.
I mean, if nothing else,
that sounds like a fun offense.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying you're going to win a lot of games, but
yeah,
Jameis Winston throwing to Neighbors and Travis Hunter, that'd be fun.
And then, midway through the year when Jameis has a couple bad games, you just throw Milroe out there.
Yeah, say, go get him.
You're in. You're the guy.
Then you realize he's just Bryce Young.
That's it. I mean, I do respect, man, I can't remember the guy's name right now, but I do respect whatever his name was from Alabama saying Jalen Milroe was the fastest guy on the team. Like, it was very well known that he was, like, definitively the fastest guy on the team.
Yeah.
I stand. That's impressive. If you're the fastest guy on Alabama's roster, you're fucking fast.
That is crazy.
He didn't run a 40, so we don't really know how fast he is.
No, but still, it's impressive.
But if multiple people say you're definitively the fastest guy on Alabama's roster, that's got to speak. That's NFL speak.
Oh, for sure. The only problem is, which is great and it's a good thing, but how great of a thing is it to have a super fast quarterback who is undersized? Somehow his hands grew, which is pretty
I think that's just mismeasurements. Somebody fucked up a measurement, either the first one or the second one. You know what I think, man? About it, I don't want to make this too much about Jalen Milroe, but if you're sitting there comparing him like that, undersized, fastest guy, I don't know if Jalen Milroe has the cannon, but that sounds like Michael Vick.
Yeah, I mean,
on best case scenario.
Best case scenario for sure.
It sounds like Michael Vick. Now I don't know, but to the Giants, that's just some ideas there. Like, it would be they've got, depending on what happens. I mean, there are options.
Yeah. Also, let me just run this back and throw this out here. Like, honestly, I wouldn't be mad if we picked up Milroe.
In like the second, because you guys have early second, or you even trade back up into the first if you think somebody else might take him.
Yeah. But if we could swoop like a dual Carter and then get him in the second, something like that, once again, I'm not that sold on.
What if that is the Cleveland plan? Hey, like they tell Miles, "Yo, we're gonna get Abdul Carter, and you guys are gonna be the nastiest defensive combo in the league, and then we're gonna trade back into the first round, late, mid-20s, and snatch Milroe."
Yeah, I would not be like I said. Once again, I don't have that much space.
You think that would sell Myles Garrett? You think that's something they maybe said?
Maybe, yeah. I mean, imagine Myles Garrett's stats if he had a possibly like all-pro guy across from him too. That would free him up a lot.
You can't double team both of them.
Exactly.
You can't.
So
you have to pick one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, that would be dangerous.
It would be crazy.
But I guess, all right, guys, back to the Giants. We're not going to linger too long here. We do have a little bit of a schedule to keep, but Giants schedule. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Oh, I had the San Francisco Giants.
Nice.
From baseball. All right, here we go. We've got Chicago and Dallas.
Chicago is going to beat them.
Obviously, they play the NFC North a lot this year.
Yeah. So, Dallas is going to beat them.
Yeah. Denver, Detroit. They're probably going to beat. They're 0-4 right there.
For sure, 100%.
Maybe they sneak a victory out of one of them just to upset.
Jameis could have a wild game. To be honest,
all of a sudden against Denver, he throws 5 touchdowns or something.
I'm about to say, honestly, they could. Detroit. They have an.
Detroit's got nasty pass rush, dude. Aiden Hutchinson. True, yeah. I like Aiden Hutchinson.
I do too, yeah.
Like, he's going to be healthy. He's going to be back. Then you got Vegas and New England. That's where they get their wins.
They'll beat Vegas. They'll beat New England.
They really could beat
honestly, give them Saints.
Give them the Saints?
Yeah. Jameis.
The Saints? Maybe he's got something to work out with the Saints.
Give him the Saints too.
All right. Dallas and Philly.
Blues. to Philly.
Washington, Green Bay. They lose both those too.
Probably.
Kansas City, Chargers. They're probably winning against the Chargers. I'll give them something. They're gonna win something game.
For sure.
Yeah.
Kansas City's gonna beat them.
San Francisco, we've talked about. I don't know if San Francisco is gonna be that great next year.
Yeah, honestly, I'll give them over San Fran. Honestly.
Then you got Philly and Washington again. You assume they're probably gonna split at least one of those.
I would assume with Washington probably they'll split.
Yeah, Philly's probably gonna sweep them, but Washington they're gonna get some wins.
Yeah, they'll get some for sure.
Yeah, I just stand on that. But all right, guys. So that's the New York Giants. In closing, do we see them being? I think they'll be more improved. I think there's potential. I think depending on how the draft goes, Jameis is an exciting pick.
Yeah.
What did we just have him winning 5-6 games?
I'm about to say 5
games.
I think it'll be like 5-6 games.
He'll probably be a top 10 draft pick next year again, but improved.
Yep. And they'll have some fun games with Jameis as quarterback. It'll at least be entertaining if nothing else.
No, that's a good point. So guys, moving on. With this division, there's something, we wanted to just kind of run. We were just talking about this division. Some of the great plays of all time have happened in this division. A couple Super Bowl plays, things of that. The Tyree helmet catch with the Giants.
Crazy backward jumps.
Yes, all these crazy things. Guys, we wanted to go ahead and do a list of the top 10 plays in NFL history.
Mm-hmm.
These are the most exciting or influential, impactful plays that have ever taken place in the NFL. Think of all the great plays you've thought of. Think of all the great plays you've seen. Could you ever just put it down to 10?
It's hard.
It's hard. It's very, very, very hard. Honestly, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 6 honorable mentions. Just because it was like that 10 and 9 spot, that's why I have. It's so hard.
It's hard, yeah.
So I'm going to list off just real quick my honorable mentions.
Okay.
The most controversial one for sure is the Malcolm Butler goal line interception with the Seahawks.
Yeah.
That's an honorable mention.
I was thinking, for sure.
All right. I feel like a lot of people really. The Miami Miracle, I got it on there. The OBJ catch, the one-handed.
Ooh, really? That was
honorable
mention?
What did it mean at the end of the day?
It
wasn't in the playoffs or anything. They didn't win it didn't matter. What did it didn't matter.
All right, we'll see.
All right, this is the Dolphin fan in me. The Greg Camarillo catch in overtime against the Ravens for the Dolphins' 1 win in their 1-win season. That one for me it was like a 70-yard day. I was like, the Vic to Jackson Monday night.
Yep, that's
on. And then my last, it's not a big play. This is almost like just being an honorable mention of situational awareness. Is Marshall Faulk picks up an injured receiver off the ground so that they can line up to snap the spike.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It was very, very hard for me to find. I don't know why. I saw it in America's Game, and I was able to find a little clip of it, and it's just kind of like, I don't know why it's like one of those weird things. I guess because it wasn't a highlight or anything. It's just hard to find.
Yeah, for sure.
But the Rams, just the receiver over the middle got laid out.
Yeah.
And was on the ground, and they were at the end of the game. They didn't have the time. And everybody was standing there looking at him, and he just snatched him up, stood him up, and was just stay, and they were able to. I was like, that to me is like, maybe you don't pick up an injured guy, I guess, but like in the moment of the play,
to get it off.
That guy was just knocked it kind of stupid and silly, and not like. That's a pretty honorable mention. You never seen anybody really do anything like that.
Yeah, it's a good heads up play for sure.
Yeah, but you got any honorable mentions?
I'd say you said a couple of them, like the Mike Vick to Jackson. That was insane. Watching that was crazy.
Was
honestly, maybe a little strange one. The DK Metcalf chasing down. Who was it? I
do remember this play. I don't have it memorized, but I remember something of it.
Yeah, who was that? Picked it off.
Chased like 96 yards.
Yeah, it's straight down. He's like way behind him, just caught up to him. That one, just because that was a wild play. And then once again, a little for my fandom. The I think it was 1963 Jim Brown run. It was it's like a 77-yard touchdown run against, I believe it was the Bills, I want to say.
Okay, all right.
It was pretty impressive. If you watch the highlight, insane.
You got to throw some love at your team. You always got to.
Yep.
But, okay, you got any more, or are you ready for the list?
No, we'll get to the list.
Okay. I'll lead it off. We'll go 10, 9, 8, and we'll go back and forth. So, my number 10, and again, it was the number 10 and number 9 are just very, a lot of these honorable mentions maybe could have even been there. I don't know. Other plays could have been there.
Yeah,
but number 10, I stand on it. Deshaun Jackson's walk-off punt return versus the Giants. They were playing for overtime. The game was over. There was like 3 seconds left. It's 4th down. The Giants just punted the ball just to run the clock and beat. They didn't, they were on their side of the field. Deshaun Jackson bobbles the catch, picks it up off the ground, makes a move. All of a sudden, he's in open territory. Deshaun Jackson runs 4-2.
So fast.
Just gone.
Mm-hmm.
And the game's over. And the Giants are sitting there. They're like, all right, we're going to punt this ball and get ready. And we're going to overtime. Game's over. One of the greatest plays. I've never seen a walk-off, just punt return touchdown like that. So that's my number 10.
Okay. Now, my number 10 is a little crazy.
Okay.
So bear with me here. So my number 10 pick is A.J. Trapasone's fake punt in the 2009 Hall of Fame game. Titans versus... You have... Okay, you have... Okay, hear me out, bro. Now, I will preface this by saying, when I was making this list, there was a little bit of drinking going on.
Oh, mine as well.
But when... You have to see the highlight of it if you haven't seen it, bro. This was the cleanest... And once again...
Maybe I have, but I don't remember.
And it's a little strange, mostly just because, obviously, it was in the Hall of Fame game, so it didn't really matter.
So, like expedition.
Yeah. But, bro, it was the cleanest fake punt. My man did the Statue of Liberty, basically. He faked it, round the back, people ran past him, gone. 50-yard touchdown.
Wow. Okay, well, I mean, you always got to respect if somebody pulls off a Statue of Liberty.
It was crazy.
That's impressive.
And it was clean. Like when I was watching it, I was like, okay, this is like the Hall of Fame game. You see it on the 50-yard line. You're like, whatever, I'll just check it out, see what it is. And then I see him doing like, bro, that was like the cleanest, slickest, just behind the back, out, gone. 50-yard touchdown. I was like, okay, this got to get on the list.
Okay.
It was clean.
Right. Hell yeah. Nice. You got it. I mean, I always like some. I got like a nice trick play on here as well at some point. Okay, so my number 9, I've got the James Harrison interception. Right before halftime of the Super Bowl, 100 yards. I talked about it a little with you. We'll talk about it real quick just for the Sideline Society here. Right before half, Kurt Warner throws a pick at the goal line. James Harrison takes it all the way.
Yep.
I mean, impressive to see, impressive to hear about. Just one of those like defensive plays that at the end of it, like I said, Arizona was driving in that moment. It's the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
The game's like tied. They're at the goal line. Like, they just drove down the field. It's right before half. Like, they're about to put up a touchdown and go in at half leading this game.
Yep.
And James Harrison, from what I understand, it was a design blitz. Like, he's supposed to blitz in. And he talked about he took 2 steps into blitz and then just decided no. And pulled back into coverage. And one of the greatest defensive plays in Super Bowl history.
Yep.
Number 9.
I have that one on here, too. It's a wee bit higher, though.
Okay, all right. Well, that was my number 9. So what's yours?
So my number 9, I went just because it was a wild play. I went with the Saquon Barkley's backwards hurdle. Just because that was insane.
I mean, never seen anything like it.
No, never seen it before. The athleticism of it, crazy.
I got it on here.
Okay.
It's slightly higher. Never been seen though. Right?
Exactly.
I'm gonna save it, but no, you make your point. It's okay. Then our number 8 for me, the Immaculate Reception. The Steelers, Franco Harrison catch. The guy gets hit. The ball even goes out of frame of the camera. Mm-hmm. They think it's incomplete, but he caught the ball. A lot of dispute about whether it was a catch or not.
Yeah, because they say
the defensive players swear it hit the ground. The offensive players swear he caught it.
Yeah.
It wasn't on camera because it was so fast. The ball got knocked out of frame for about a second. And of course, that's the second the catch happens.
Exactly.
So all you really see is a guy get blasted, a ball flies. You hear the announcer say incomplete. All of a sudden, Franco Harrison's running in the frame, and he's gone for a touchdown to win the game. And you're just like, what the hell happened?
Yep, exactly.
Number 8, greatest play of all time in my book.
My number 8 is the Beastquake.
The Beastquake. Yo.
I watched that live as a kid.
I did as well.
Let me tell you. That was an insane one. Just watching a Marshawn Lynch chuck people off him. Like the whole entire defense is on him at one point.
That's one of the best highlights you will ever see. And then he turns around and grabs his nuts as he jumps into the end zone.
Exactly.
It's one of those, you just love Marshawn Lynch.
I do. I love him. He's like my favorite running back.
I gotta say, that's a great play. All right, so my number 7, the Saquon backwards hurdle.
Okay. Again,
we never saw it before. Never been done. It now is a special move in Madden. They encoded it into the new
cool.
Madden coming, so you're going to be able to actually do that.
That's cool.
It's probably going to be super hard to pull off in time, and if you fuck it up, you're going to fumble.
Oh, 100%.
But it'll look sick as fuck if you ever can pull it off. For sure. So, I mean, number 7, again, Saquon's backwards hurdle. I still, like you said, it's never been done.
Never been done. Just a crazy,
it's unrepeatable almost. Maybe.
Freak athleticism. Play.
Just one of those 1 in a million. So, go ahead.
My number 7 is the Immaculate Catch.
Okay, perfect.
Obviously, same reasons we talked about.
Just one of those.
Crazy. The note on it is that you didn't mention just that was Pitt's first ever playoff win.
Oh, I didn't realize it was the first ever. I knew that was like, so that sets off their dynasty.
Yep, exactly. And they won the Super Bowl by the end of the 70s.
Yeah.
And that was in, 70...
I want to say it was 74.
Or some early 70s.
Yeah.
So, and they won the Super Bowl by the end of the 70s. And that was the first ever playoff win in the franchise. So.
All right. So, where are we at? Number 6. Number 6 on mine, the Music City Miracle. It's a kick return, playoffs. The Titans, they go to the Super Bowl that year. They win this playoff game. Buffalo, I think it was Buffalo scores.
Yeah, field goal.
Kicks off. A lot of dispute whether it was a forward pass or not on the lateral.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be honest. I watched the highlight heavily intoxicated. I've seen the highlight many a times in my childhood.
Yep.
I think it was a forward pass.
The only thing...
I think by about a foot to 6 inches, it was a forward pass because you see where the guy is on the main line as he throws it, and he catches it in front of that line, bro. He catches it in front of that line.
The only thing is, I don't know the exact rules of it. His foot was technically, because he stretched out, his back foot's behind the line. So would that, because he's behind the line?
I guess it's for interpretation.
Yeah.
But I have it as my number 6 greatest play of all time.
Close with that one, too.
Okay.
I do have that one, because that was in the same place.
Nice.
My number 6 is the Minneapolis Miracle with Stephon Diggs. Vikings,
2017.
Vikings versus the Saints.
Yes.
Once again, I watched that game live. It was insane. Like, I don't even really like the Vikings or the Saints, so I wasn't that invested in the game. But to see that play live...
Just a hell of a game altogether.
It was. That play, it was insane.
It really was. So, honestly, I'll just segue off that because that's my number 5.
Okay, cool.
So, my number 5 is the Minneapolis Miracle. So just a little more on that, the missed tackle on the play.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, there was talk at that time, is it rigged? That was kind of the beginning of, like, did he miss that tackle? Like, that was the beginning of, like, the NFL's conspiracy maybe starting. You watch it full speed, he didn't miss that on purpose. That's just, that's a split second. He just missed it.
Yeah,
like,
it happens.
Full speed, you can see the highlight. It wasn't, but it's slow motion, things can look a little different when they're slow-mo.
For sure.
It's like, oh, you can see, and it's like, bro, he didn't have time to think. He just made the move and came up a split second too fast on the play.
Exactly.
And, that's my number 5.
All right. Number 5. Now, you're not going to like this one.
Okay.
Because you've already said it. My number 5 is Odell Beckham's catch.
Really?
Yes, and I have a little bit of something to say about it.
Bro, it didn't... I get the highlight, but it didn't mean anything.
Okay, but it did, though.
What did it mean?
Bro, the Odell Beckham catch... And I know, obviously, one-handed catches had been done before and all that.
It's an amazing highlight. I'm not taking nothing away.
But it influenced an entire generation of receivers to come. Bro, they started practicing the Odell Beckham catch, the one-handed catch, in practices because he did it.
It was pretty iconic.
It was iconic. He, like I said, he literally, like, motivated younger receivers. Like, a whole generation of receivers, like, looked up to him and, like, specifically practiced the one-handed catch. And that's why we have so many crazy catches now with, like, Jefferson, Chase, stuff like that. Because they started practicing that when they saw it because it was insane.
Maybe.
So I say it was a generational change in catch.
Okay. All right. I mean, that's a good case. I still...
And it was insane.
Maybe there's some reevaluation there.
And it was an insane catch, so...
Yeah.
All right, what's your...
my number 4, the Philly Special.
Philly Special, yeah, it's crazy.
I'm going to sit here and say it. Right before half, touchdown, Nick Foles. It's only like a 2-yard pass. It's not like some crazy highlight reel down the field play, Philly Special. But what it did, Philly beats New England in that Super Bowl.
For sure.
That takes all the momentum. That takes all the hype. They fooled we've debated about Bill Belichick. I will say he's the defensive GOAT.
For sure.
I'm not going to say he's the GOAT head coach. I think Brady had a lot, but that's a to the point with the play. They fooled Bill Belichick.
Exactly.
They fooled Bill Belichick, man.
It was insane.
That's, I mean, number 4, yeah, the Philly special.
All right, I like it. I have number 4. I have the Music City Miracle with Kevin Dyson.
Okay.
The home run, 75-yarder. Once again, insane. You already talked about it, so I won't delve too deep into it.
Well, good, man.
So, yeah, I mean, the thing that I just thought was kind of cool about it, especially, like, because I watched it, and they interviewed him, and then they were talking about the interviewed coaches and stuff like that. Obviously, I think you watched the same, probably NFL 100 or whatever.
Yeah, it was a good watch, especially during.
It was. Yeah. But he was like the third guy for that position.
I did see
the guy in front of him, the number 1 guy that was supposed to do that play when they practiced it every Saturday when they were going through the run-throughs, they practiced this play. The last thing they did. The one guy had a concussion, the main guy. The second guy was cramping. He was the third guy. And when they called him over and they're like, okay, so this is the play we're going to run, dude was literally told him, I don't know what play this is. I never paid attention because I'm the third string guy. So he didn't even know what he was doing when the play happened.
Dyson was a nice player, though. I think he was like a starting receiver for him. So he just didn't pay attention to the special teams. To that
play, yeah, exactly.
Because he's a starter receiver. Why is he going to be special teams?
Yeah, and honestly, I don't know too much about the play. It's a little side note. He was also involved in the tackle.
The 1 yard line?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's 1 yard short. He tried to reach. Yep, the Super Bowl.
Just another historical thing.
I love it, yeah. That's why I had it, because that's the season they went to the Super Bowl. That was McNair was Air McNair. You know, I mean, that was a great team all around. Where are we at? We're at number
3.
So number 3 for me. I think you'll like where I have this.
Okay.
The Beastquake.
I actually do like that. That's nice.
Number 3 is the Beastquake,
nice.
bro. 7-9 Seattle. We talked about there. That's the team.
Mm-hmm.
They had no business even being there. That's the season that kind of makes us change our perception of Marshawn Lynch. He washed out in Buffalo.
He did.
And this is kind of where beast mode starts. I mean, he was always beast mode, but this is where, like, people were like, yeah, okay, you kind of just washed out of Buffalo.
Yeah,
like,
so, you know.
That's cool. You got a cool name, but whatever. This is kind of the moment as well that starts setting into motion the Legion of Boom.
It did, for sure.
I'm not saying this one here because they lose their next game, but this is the win against the Saints. The Beastquake is like, it's an important play. It's an iconic play.
It is.
Registered on the Richter scale.
Yep. When he throws, I think it was Porter, just throws him off.
Dude,
hyped every time.
Insane play. Most insane, one of the most insane plays I've ever seen. So that was my number 3.
Okay. So at my number 3, I feel like we almost perfectly just swapped these 2 picks. Pretty close. I have the James Harrison pick 6 in Super Bowl 43.
Oh, okay. Number 3. Wow, I like that you got that. Defensive play.
Number 3.
I had to find a way to get the defensive play in the top 10.
Yeah,
one was deserved.
For sure. And I feel like that one's just super insane because it's not like, if it was like a corner that just picked it off and ran it back.
Gone.
99 yards or whatever, you know.
This is just a hard-hitting pass rusher.
Yeah, this is just like, yeah.
It'd be like if Myles Garrett got 100 yards.
Exactly. It's insane.
Like, what?
Yeah, it's insane he can even run 100 yards.
Dude, he about
died. I'm saying.
So I'm assuming you watched, again, like you said, the same thing. Did you watch when he's describing that play, like, remember? And it's like they're showing the highlight as it's like, damn, bro, he remembers everything
about that play.
Of that play. He really does. It's an impressive watch just seeing that.
It is.
Yeah, no, an incredible play. So that's number 3 for you. So we're at number 2 here. My number 2. The David Tyree helmet catch. Same. This was my number 1 there for a minute.
I thought it was going to be 2, but I have the exact same. Number 2, same thing.
This was my number 1 for... Guys don't know. I was talking to Quill. I was like, oh, I got the number 1. And then I changed. But this was... I mean, you beat the undefeated Patriots. David Tyree had a great game that game. Had a touchdown, everything. But this was his last catch. Fun fact about David Tyree. Never had another catch again.
Oh, no, that's crazy.
Never another catch in the NFL again.
Huh.
This is it.
Wow.
This is it for David Tyree right here. This is it. Eli Manning, guys all over him, comes out of it. I mean, just an all-around. I remember watching this play. I was 14 years old.
I did too.
And I remember I was living with my dad, obviously. I started the play sitting down on the couch, and at the end of the play, I was standing on the couch. I watched that. It was one of the most insane things I ever watched.
I've said it multiple times. That was one of my favorite Super Bowls of all time.
It was insane to see.
It was insane.
I just loved that the Patriots lost. It made me so happy.
Yep, exactly. And that catch was just, in the moment, you know, they were such underdogs. And to just see that wild catch.
And you just thought it was over. You thought, like, this is the moment the Patriots are going to put it together and pull away. They're going to stop them. It was a third down. Mm-hmm. It's just like, this is it. The Patriots are getting ready to be the Patriots.
Yep.
And
it was just
then that
insane.
happens. Yeah. That's my number 2. So.
Yep. like I said, same. That's my number 2 as well.
Okay.
Just not a little tidbit.
Yeah.
Like all week in practice, like he couldn't catch a single ball. That was like something like the coaches were talking about. Like, yo, like every ball thrown to him, he would drop it, and then all of a sudden he comes out in the Super Bowl and he just stuck his helmet.
Against Rodney Harrison. Yeah. That's an All-Pro Hall of Famer.
Exactly. He's swiping at the ball, but somehow he has the strength to just pin it.
Yes, absolutely insane play.
Insane.
But guys, here we are.
Number 1.
The number 1. You haven't said this play, and I'm wondering if you have the same number 1.
My number 1 play, I stand by it, and it's because I think it's crazy. So I'm gonna stick with it.
I want you to go for it. What's your number 1?
All right, my number 1 is the surprise onside kick with the Saints.
Wow. Okay, you don't even have my play anywhere. Okay, Go ahead. No, this is great. This was why I wanted you to go first.
All right, so obviously it was coming out of halftime.
Yes, this is an amazing
Super Bowl 44.
You're not even allowed to do this play.
No, not anymore.
You have to tell them if you're going to do an onside kick now.
Yeah, no. It was against the Colts. Obviously, Peyton Manning.
Yes.
The Colts. The Saints.
I mean, this is where they get all the hype.
They did, for sure.
The Colts, Peyton's like, we're getting ready to turn it around, and then all of a sudden the Saints got the ball.
Like I said, they were down 6-10 coming out of half.
Insane.
The Colts, obviously, they were definitely the top dog. Like, the Saints were definitely a pretty big underdog. They both had good seasons. I think they both had like 14 wins, something like that. But the Colts were definitely the team expected to win. And they ended up winning 31-17. Like, that just totally, like, changed the momentum. Like,
okay.
So.
Wow. And that's an unexpected one, Quill. Yeah. That's a special teams play. Onside.
I know. I was a little surprised.
I kind of like that.
I was a little surprised I was going to go too, but like I said, once again,
bro,
little alcohol, watching the highlights, I was like, yo, bro, this is insane. And then also you have the hype, the build up to it. You had the whole Hurricane Katrina a couple years before.
True.
It was a very emotional.
This is their first real season.
Very emotional Super Bowl. It was the first Super Bowl the Saints ever won.
Drew Brees.
Reggie
Bush.
Yep. It was very emotional, like the build up to it.
I did really like that team.
Yeah, it was nice. And I was like, yo, this could be it.
Okay. All right. Guys. Well, Quill, that's a great pick, Quill. I have the number 1 greatest play of all time.
I think so.
It's the most influential play. It's a great highlight. It's iconic in its own right. And then everything surrounding it.
Okay.
This play does not happen. The NFL is not that. Maybe what you just said doesn't happen.
Okay, I'm excited.
The NFL history is changed as we know it if this play doesn't happen.
I'm excited.
Here we go. Let me set the stage.
Okay.
January 10th, 1981. Right. NFC Championship game. The San Francisco 49ers and the legendary Dallas Cowboys coming out of the dynasty of the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Too Tall Jones. You've got Tom Landry, iconic coach. You've got the upstart Niners. They're young. They're scrappy.
Mm-hmm.
You got this guy, Joe Montana. Who the fuck is this guy? He was a 3rd-round pick a few years ago. Notre Dame guy. Yeah, he had some nice years. Joe Montana?
Yeah.
Really? Bill Walsh. He's got this crazy offense, the West Coast offense. What? The West Coast offense, it's all about timing and rhythm and spreading it out a little bit. We're not pounding it up. We're not going to just line up a little. We're going to beat you with the quick shifty, the drag route, the slant, play action. What? All of a sudden, the end of the game, here we are. It's the catch. It's the number 1 greatest play of all time, the catch. The catch. Dwight Clark catches the ball back of the end zone. There's a lot of controversy. I'm sure you saw it.
Yeah, I saw it.
Did he throw it away? Did he not? He pump fakes.
He does.
And then he hits him, and they say they had it planned. Too Tall Jones. You beat us. Joe Montana gives him a little fuck you. Okay, hang on. Okay. Let me give this to you now. Now let me really pull this together. Like I said, I had a real sell-on. I had this. This ends the dynasty of Dallas. This ends what is actually America's team until the dynasty of the 90s. Yeah. Dallas goes through some hard years after this. Sure. This is it. Landry retires. This starts the dynasty of the Niners of the 80s. This starts Joe Montana. They win the Super Bowl. This is his first of 4. Yep. This starts what a lot of people call the GOAT, even before Brady. Some people still call Montana the GOAT. You get a weird guy in there that'll just throw Montana here and there, and you're like, well, I kind of can't argue.
I mean, yeah.
Never threw an interception in the Super Bowl, 4-0.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I mean,
he has an argument, no matter what you want to say.
For sure.
Incredible highlight. Iconic play.
It was.
Here's what really brings it all together, on top of everything else. Do you know who's in the stands in that game? Do you?
I do not. Who?
There's a 4-year-old boy by the name of Tom Brady in those stands.
Okay.
Watching that game live. Many interviews with him talking about this. That play starts, the whole stadium goes nuts, everything's crazy. He starts crying because he doesn't know what's happening. And his dad and his mom, and there's pictures of him at the game, and it's one of his most fundamental, foundational football memories, is being at that game and that play and the hype and just the whole energy. That play doesn't happen. Does Tom Brady even care enough about football to become the GOAT? If that play doesn't happen, does Joe Montana become what
he was?
If that play doesn't happen, does Bill Walsh in the West Coast offense, the icon? I mean, the West Coast is still ran now.
It is, for sure. Yeah.
If that play doesn't happen, does Dallas get one more Super Bowl into the 80s? Does Tom Landry stay a few more years? I'm just saying, I've sold it. I told you, connecting it all, Brady in the stands.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
He says it. It's like one of his first football memories is like that. And like Brady, the drive, like that kid was doing push-ups at 10 years old, wanting to be a quarterback. Like, we've all heard the story. Like,
yep.
I'm telling you, the catch is there it is. The catch. Number one greatest football play of all time.
I like it.
I stand on that.
I'll be honest with you. The only reason why the catch didn't make the list.
I can't believe it wasn't even an honorable mention.
Nope, not on the list at all. The play itself wasn't that crazy.
It really kind of was, though.
It was a decent play.
Roll out, pressure, pump, fake, back of the end zone. You got to take the moment. It's the NFC Championship. It's the end of the game.
Yeah, I'll give you that. When you build up the hype about it, when you talk about it, I do see where you're coming from with it. But in the moment, I was just looking at the highlight. I'm like, okay, this is cool.
You were buzzed, and you were like, okay.
I mean, but just a catch in the back end. I mean, like, he didn't do anything crazy.
You know what really brings it all together, like I said, is when you bring the fact that that's the end of the Dallas dynasty right there. That's the start of the Niner dynasty.
That is, yeah.
Right there. And then you put Brady in the stands, and Brady, like I said, you can pull multiple interviews where he's, like, cited.
Yeah,
like, that being one of his foundation. And it's like, man, if that doesn't happen, he doesn't have that memory. And I'm not saying maybe he doesn't go on, but there's a big question is, like, you know how impactful foundational core memories are, especially as, like, a small child, 4 or 5 years old.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
What that does for the rest of your life. What those things can do.
For sure,
like,
yeah.
I think that's the greatest play ever, personally.
I respect it, like I said. When you tie it together, it makes more sense, definitely. When you first said the catch, I was like, all right, okay, you gotta have something here.
Oh, like, that's why I've been telling you I have not told him about this. But I've been hyping up that I had a sell.
Oh, yeah, I like it with the sell. The sell was good.
The sell is...
I respect it.
Yep, that's it, guys. Sideline Society, what do you guys think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let us know in the comments. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I'm Rich.
I'm Quill.
That's it. The top 10 greatest plays, the NFC East. Next week, we go to the AFC West.
Mm-hmm.
And we're getting close to wrapping up these divisional
got 2 more.
things.
Yep, 2
but
more.
We're getting close to the draft, too. We've got a few exciting ideas as where we're going. Please, again, like, comment, subscribe. See you next time.
We'll catch you next time, guys.